The 3 tips, I think, is really think about how you're going to structure your spreadsheet.
Okay.
Like by using something like this, if you can, one of the things we like to think about schema is essentially if you look at Excel today, you have an object model that the Excel team wrote, which is completely kind of generic, has to deal with everybody using Excel. Now, the cool thing about schema is you can define an object model that matches your business. So essentially you can say, well, look, my order is going to require this data. So you can start programming against that object model rather than having to program against the Excel object model. So if you have schema, or even the database schema, if you already have it done, then that's going to make your life way, way easier dealing with that. Because then you can write a really cool app without having to ever talk to the Excel object model. So we have an expense report demo, which I don't know how we have time, that is entirely written, and it goes and integrates with an Amex web service, does nice charting, and sends it back to the server. It never once talks to the Excel object model, but it gives you this full Excel expense reporting system, so you can deal with it that way. Second option really is, this is, if you're a VB developer who went to C# because you thought C# was going to be cool, then good. But VB does a lot of work for you to make COM interop, because Office is still a COM application.
Yeah.
So talking to Excel via C# is not for the faint of heart. There's a lot of optional. Excel has something like 5,500 optional arguments on its methods, which is totally cool if you're using VB because it just deals with it. Well, and if you're using C#, then you got to put type.missing on each one of those.
Oh, yeah.
And for example, the printout method, it takes something like 17 arguments, and the number of copies is the third one, and the 17th argument is a file name. So that if you want to do print to file, so it takes a bit of a while getting used to that. So my big tip that we give to users: if you went to VB to C#, then don't forget that VB is going to make your life a lot easier on this one. And it's worse in Word. So, I'll be upfront. There's a whole bunch of work we have to do to make Word and Excel better. It's worse in Word because all those optional arguments are biref. So you have to declare a variable for each one of those arguments, and it's ugly. And there's something which we know we have to fix, but unfortunately not this time around. The third tip, gosh. I think is really take advantage of those controls that are available to you. Put a WinForm control on your Excel document itself, or start using the actions pane, so that you can really start to do your UI how you want to do it, and start thinking about how Office, and really take a look at how Office works, and look at how your application would integrate into that, and don't try and build a WinForms app in Excel. I guess Excel's a really big WinForm app, so
right.
So don't do that. That would be my number one thing. Don't do that.
Okay.
And take a look at some of our server stuff. I'll show you the server stuff in a moment. But being able to, for example, the thing that really, really bugs me about our expense report system. Well, there's two things that bug it. It's an HTML system, so I can't use it offline. It's what the hell? And even the one we had before, which was Excel, when I clicked on the Excel spreadsheet, it didn't know who I was. It's why doesn't it know that it's me? And why hasn't it already loaded in all my information from Amex automatically in that? So we provide a server model, so you can have ASPX pages now that generate Excel and Word documents, as opposed to having to generate HTML. And the number one thing we want to do is scalability. So our current tests we're 99% of the performance of just a pure ASPX generating HTML. So you can start generating these things really, really quickly and take advantage of client information on that. So.